Hey, what's going on, guys? Pete here with MixBetterNow.com and LearningToMix.com. I hope you're doing well. Today I got a new top 5 video for you. We're going to be checking out my top 5 most versatile reverb plugins.
What's up? This is Steven Slate, and you are watching Mix Better Now.
So there's just a couple little things that I want to mention before we get into the list here. The first thing is I've chosen no UAD plugins. Now, the reason being we're talking about versatility here, and UAD plugins, while using the plugins themselves might be versatile, you do have to have hardware to run them, so not everybody has that hardware, not everybody has access to them. So for that reason, I've left them out. The second thing is that all these plugins are usable in any DAW and on any computer platform. So they're available in AAX, VST audio units, and they're available for Mac and PC. The other main sort of guidelines that just, steered me to these was, first and foremost, how good does the reverb sound? I mean, right, that is super important. The other thing was, how much variety do we get inside of the one plugin? How much bang for the buck? How many different types of reverbs are in there? And then also, what kind of extra goodie features do we get? Like, is there a built-in EQ? Is there a stereo widener or a saturation knob or something like that? So these are some things that sort of led me to my decisions. Now, just one more thing that's worth mentioning here is that these 5 aren't really in any particular order. There is no winner. It's just sort of, showing you 5. And of course, any top 5 list would not be complete without a wild card. So we got a wild card too. But let's get started here. Coming in at number 5, we have the wonderful Valhalla vintage verb from Valhalla DSP. Now, this thing is just, I can't say enough good things about it. First and foremost, sounds wonderful, and you have a slew of different reverb types in here. Probably the most appealing is that it's $49, and I just can't say enough good things about Valhalla DSP. All their plugins sound great, and I think they're all $50, so you just can't really beat it. If we take a look here at the interface, now, I have all of these reverbs set up on a vocal here. I'll let you hear what they sound like. Let's flip this guy on. This song is pretty much, it's got a little bit of stuff going on. It's not really mixed per se. Faders are up, okay? But like I said, I've got this send and return set up with all the verbs on it. So you're going to hear it on the lead vocal. Now, of course, we don't have time to go through all of the reverb sounds and stuff, but I just want you to get a little bit of flavor of it. If we look down here, you're going to see modes. So we've got everything from halls, plates, rooms, chambers, chorusing, ambience, sanctuary, which I still don't really know what that is. It's probably a really big indoor space. Dirty hall, dirty plate, smooth room, nonlinear reverb, and then you've got some stuff called chaotic chamber. So there's so many different sounds packed into this. What also makes the Valhalla Vintage Verb wonderful is this color feature. So you can go with a 70s vibe, which is going to be a little bit of a darker and a grainier reverb sound. 80s is going to be a little bit brighter, a little bit more sheen to it, full bandwidth. And then you've got now, which is going to be a more modern type of sound. Over here is where you're going to have your presets. You've got your ambiances or ambiances, however you want to say it. You've got chambers, gated reverbs, halls, huge spaces, plates, so on and so forth. There's also designer presets here from Don Gunn. So what we'll do, let's just pick a preset. You can sort of hear what it sounds like. Since it's on a vocal, we'll go for something vocally. How about that? We'll pick wide lead vocal. Let's see how this sounds.
Well, I should have kissed you, not dismissed you. Whoa, but I thought I'd lose you. I may amuse you. Oh, and all of the moonlight sparkling down from the sky.
All right, so as you can hear, it sounds great. We've got a bunch of really, just killer features on here. All your standard stuff, mix pre-delay, your reverb time, and it's just as easy as moving this.
Well, I should have kissed you, not dismissed you. Whoa, but I thought I'd lose you.
The other thing that's super helpful is we have a pair of filters over here, so you can sort of get rid of some of that sizzle on top and then cut rid of any of the mud that you find on the bottom. So this is the Valhalla Vintage Verb from Valhalla DSP. Make sure you go check it out. I'll put all the links so you can go check these plugins out in the description. Coming in at number 4, we have the Softube SAR-1 or TSAR-1. Man, I can't pronounce any of these things today, huh? So this for me is it visually kind of looks like a Lexicon 224 or a 480 or something like that, and I don't really know, what it's supposed to be, but it doesn't really matter. What's cool is we have settings down here: pre-delay time, density, tone, and a high cut. We've also got early reflections up here that we can take care of. You can switch between a small, medium, and large reverbs. Diffusion, you've got modulation, okay, and of course you have a mix knob. So let's go ahead. There's a lot of different settings on here, which is really wonderful. There's also some Lexicon 224 emulations. You're going to see 224 small concert hall, the plate, the room, okay? You've also got an EMT down here, so very legendary stuff is kind of all hanging out, under the roof. Let's just click on the first preset. This is a modern ambience dark. Let's see how this sounds.
Well, I should have kissed you, not dismissed you. Whoa. But I thought I'd lose you, I may amuse you, oh. And all of the moonlight sparkling down.
Obviously something that isn't really, fitting for the tune. That's not what I'm going for here. I just want you to be able to sort of hear how it sounds. Let's go to another preset here. I'm just going to keep toggling through. We got a drum. Here's a drum plate.
Well, I should have kissed you, not dismissed you. Whoa. But I thought I'd lose you, I may amuse you. Oh.
It just sounds very realistic to me. It's very lush for a native reverb. It's tough with native reverbs. They don't all sound great. They can sound harsh. They can sound grainy, especially the digital stuff. But for me, the Softube, the SAR-1, I think SAR stands for True Stereo Algorithmic Reverb. And I'm not really smart enough to know what that means, but I sure know what my ears like, and my ears definitely dig this reverb. Coming in at number 3, we have one of my personal favorites here. This is the Sonnox Oxford Reverb. Guys, you cannot go wrong with this. In my opinion, this is one of the best native reverbs on the planet. It's wonderful. There's nothing you can't do with it, and it probably has more controls and more features than any other reverb I've ever seen. We have 100% full control over things like, of course, your reverb tail, but even the early reflections, the room shape, the room size, the room position, mixing in the tail amount, all that stuff. What I really like about this here is if we click on the equalizer, we have a fully functioning Sonnox Oxford EQ built into this plugin, which you can run on the back end of it. So it's just, it's so easy to dial stuff in. I love filtering the top and the bottom of my reverbs, especially if things get bright. I'll even pull some stuff down in here. But as you can see, you can do anything that you want literally with this plugin. Now there's so many presets here. Give you a little flavor. Now we have these sort of folders of menus. You've got ambience, chambers, churches, dry spaces, effects, emulations, halls, post, rooms, and vocal. There's so much stuff. For example, if I click on effects, you're gonna see, there's so much stuff. I don't even know what half of these are. Thunder, tunnel, cupboard, classroom, canyon. But what I do know is that if we click on something like emulations, you're going to see that they actually went ahead and are emulating some famous reverbs, like your Lexicons, like your EMT 140, your EMT 250, a BX Spring, okay? So it's the AKG BX 20, the 48 here is for a 480, okay? I haven't seen this in any other plugin really. Just the fact that there's a spring in here to me makes this very high on my list, because most of these like wonder reverbs that have everything in here, they often lack springs, and for me that's something I love using on guitars and on vocals. So we'll just go ahead and click on something. Here's a large chamber emulating from a 480. Let's turn it on and have a listen.
Well, I should have kissed you, not dismissed you. Whoa. But I thought I'd lose you. I may amuse you. Oh. And all of the moonlight sparkling down from the sky. Blue diamonds in your eyes. Taste the sweetness of your smile.
So as you can see, as I was playing it, I was just kind of bringing in the filters here to tweak around some of the settings. All you have to do is click in and out, and the bands do just that. So, man, oh man, is it so good. And to be honest, I really like the way that this large chamber sounds. I'm a big fan of chamber on vocals. Just go to the chorus here so we don't get driven a little crazy playing the same thing over.
I smell dead roses, dead roses in your hair. Can you smell roses like candy in the air?
Let's keep toggling here.
I smell dead roses.
It's a thin plate. Here's the BX spring.
I smell dead roses, dead roses in your hair.
It's a really good spring too. Man, so many reverb plugins don't do the springs justice. Here's a 2.5 second plate from the EMT 140.
I smell dead roses, dead roses in your hair. Can you smell roses?
I mean, come on. It sounds amazing. It is amazing. It's not the sexiest interface in the world, but that doesn't matter, right? Because if the way the plugins looked made our mixes sound better, we'd probably all be using FabFilter stuff. So anyway, let's keep moving on here. All right, so coming in at number 2, and again, guys, these aren't really in a particular order. They're all great. Number 2, we've got the VerbSuite Classics from Slate Digital and from LiquidSonics. Now, you're going to see a theme here. My top 2 plugins are LiquidSonics. A little hint as to what number 1 might be. But I'm sure most of you are familiar with VerbSuite Classics at this point. I'm sure most of you have it. Everybody and their brother has the Slate Everything bundle these days, and for good reason. Now, just to give you guys a little heads up, in the event that you don't and you've never seen it before, this is essentially a what's the word I'm looking for? A conglomeration of a bunch of the best digital reverbs ever made, and there are a slew of different units in here. Okay, you could see we have the unit type in this menu. Here you're gonna have, different types of reverbs as to what is available. Okay, you can see as we click through these, with the Bricasti, the BM7 is emulating all the Bricasti stuff. We have probably the most stuff under one hood, but it's all good because here we've got ambiances. Here you've got ambiances, plates, rooms, spaces. Okay, rooms and ambience, swept room, halls. You've got generics, plates. All kinds of stuff. So it's really easy to just kind of get up and running by using this here. You click on what you want. You've got your sort of your time here, which you can tweak up here, and then you just dial in what you want over here. So let's just say we're like, all right, I want to use a 250 between 1 and 2 seconds. So let's go ahead and grab a dark plate with 1.4 seconds. So you'll see it loads up here. which is weird. And I don't know why it says 1.87 seconds on the decay, but nonetheless, you can tweak the decay time by moving this. All right, so let's just have a quick listen.
I smell dead roses, dead roses in your hair. Can you smell roses like candy in the air?
So if we want to lessen the reverb time, just pull your decay down. Let's go to like a second.
I smell dead roses, dead roses in your hair.
We've got a 3-band EQ over here. You've got attack, pre-delay, chorus, width. Here's your gain, your dry, wet knob. So with the VerbSuite Classics, I mean, there are so many different types of reverbs in here. It's pretty nuts. Again, it's more on the digital side of things, but that's okay because these all sound fantastic. All right, so before we get to my number one pick, we're going to go ahead and throw the wild card in here. The wild card for me is going to be the FabFilter Pro-R. Now, all the FabFilter stuff is incredible, you know, in general. But here we have another reverb that just has tons of stuff. So you've got ambient, small reverbs, medium reverbs, large, very large, and tempo synced, okay? So there's a lot of different options under one hood here. You can see I'm just going through some of the presets. So if we start out, go to something like a small vocal rich space. Let's try that. Now you're going to see a couple curves here on this lovely GUI. It sort of EQs two different things. So in the yellow here, it's our post EQ. So this EQ sort of reacts the same way that a FabFilter Pro Q2 will, if you're familiar with that. So if you guys know what's up with that, you can do literally anything and you could change the curves very creatively. But what's cool is up here in the blue, this is going to allow us to EQ our decay rate. So essentially EQing the reverb tails. Absolutely brilliant. Up top here, you've got a brightness control. You can go dark to bright. Character goes clean, lively, and chorus. You can move the distance around. You can change sort of the room shapes up here and the room sizes, your decay rate, stereo width, mix knob, all that good stuff. And yeah, it just sounds pretty cool. The reason this is a wild card for me is because I don't feel like the tonality of the reverb is quite up to snuff as the others. I feel like it's just sort of, you know, would be in a class outside this, like this would be in the 6 through 10, if you will, okay? But anyway, let's take a listen to what this vocal rich space sounds like.
I smell dead roses, dead roses in your hair. Can you smell roses like candy in the air?
I really like this brightness knob. It works tremendously well. We'll go all the way dark and listen to how it gets darker and brighter.
I smell dead roses. I smell dead roses.
I mean, it just works. Let's increase the tail here a little bit.
I smell dead roses, dead roses in your hair.
Now, you know, if you were like, hey, you know, it's a little too bright on top here, you just grab your filter, drag it back, drag it down, do whatever you want. It works extremely well. It's very intuitive. It's very well thought out. One more preset before we get on to number one. Let's go to a large reverb. Let's try a vocal hall. It's going to be a nice 2-second reverb here. Let's see what we got.
I smell dead roses, dead roses in your hair. Can you smell roses like candy in the air?
All right, so that is the FabFilter Pro-R coming in with the wild card. All right, so you know what that means. It's time for the number one reverb here. And again, this isn't really a winner. This is just one of my new favorites. And this is, in fact, the 7th Heaven Professional from LiquidSonics. Big shout out to my man Kurt holding it down up there in the CT for just kind of tipping me on to this guy right here. But this thing's a beast, guys. I mean, a beast. It is beautiful. It sounds beautiful. It looks beautiful. It's not cheap. The professional version's, I think, $350. The non-professional's $299. But I think this is going to be money well spent, okay? You've kind of got all your normal suspects up here. Down here, you've got a fully functioning master EQ section, all right, which you can turn on and off. So, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on, all right? You got some advanced controls over here, so you could sort of toggle between different things. Okay, early reflections, pre-delay, delay time, roll-off, frequency-dependent decay time, right? Again, we're going to get into some of the EQ stuff over here. You've got a low, medium, and high. You can do shelves on the low and high, or bells, just by going back and forth. You've got your filters here, your low cut and your high cut. All you got to do is just kind of engage them. And look, it's really all you need. I mean, 5 EQ bands for me is plenty on a reverb. You've got your early and your late reflections. You could blend between the two. I mean, this thing's just amazing. If we look here, look up here, you've got ambience chambers, halls 1 and 2, interiors, nonlinear, plates 1, 2, rooms 1 and 2, and spaces 1 and 2. So really, if you pick one, right, we're on plates, and you click this drop down, you're going to see you've got a slew of different plates. Now, this really is borrowing from the Bricasti reverb, all right, the M7, and they've just got it right. They absolutely nailed it. For me, it sounds as close to the real Bricasti, you know, as I've heard. So here's a dark plate. Let's take a listen.
I smell dead roses, dead roses in your hair. Can you smell roses like candy in the air? Yeah.
Man, that's just so lush sounding. If we go to the bright plate, it's gonna get a little brighter, a little longer reverb time here.
I smell dead roses, dead roses in your hair. Can you smell roses?
For me, the reason that I would lean towards number 1 with this is that on the brighter settings, it does not sound harsh or crispy, which is a very common characteristic amongst native reverbs, okay? So for me, this thing just slays. It absolutely slays. Let's go to spaces. We got a North Church here. You've got a couple churches. You've got a cavern, a stone quarry. Let's try that, right? I mean, like literally, they go and they emulate what it would sound like, the actual natural reverb of being inside a stone quarry. Check it out.
I smell dead roses, dead roses in.
Really long reverb time at 5 there, but if we bring it down, I don't know if it's even usable.
I smell dead roses.
There's a whole lot of sort of buildup happening, but that's cool. I mean, it's just, you know, you've got all kinds of stuff. Cinema room.
I smell dead roses, dead roses in your hair. Can you smell roses?
Non-linear is great. Some of my favorite sort of reverb to use on vocals sometimes, because you can just give a little bit of separation and push that vocal back in the mix a little bit using a non-linear reverb.
I smell dead roses.
It almost kind of takes on that characteristic of a little bit of chorus or a little bit of Dimension D, a little bit of that H3000 type thing, you know. But all these are spot on. Here's chambers. We'll go medium chamber.
I smell dead roses, dead roses in your hair. Can you smell roses like candy in the air?
All right, guys, so there you have it. Those are my top 5 most versatile reverb plugins with a little wild card thrown in. In no particular order, we had the Valhalla Vintage Verb, okay? Sonnox Oxford Reverb. Wild card was the FabFilter Pro-R. We had VerbSuite Classics. From the good folks at Slate Digital and LiquidSonics, we had the SAR-1 reverb from Softube, and we were just looking at the Seventh Heaven Professional. Big fan of this. Check it out. I'll put links to all these in the description box, guys. That's going to do it for this top 5 video. As always, I just want to say thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, and share. Make sure you hit that little bell. Stay in the loop whenever I throw up new content. Click on the link in the description box and grab your free audio swag bag. Get all your goodies, free multi-track sessions, free drum samples, free mix templates, all that stuff. And as always, hope you have a great day, and I will catch you in the next video.
What's up? This is Steven Slate, and you are watching Mix Better Now.